Hi, my name is Gary. We're here this morning with Adam Montefiore, the Wine Development Director at Carmel Winery. Thank you for having us here today, Adam.
Thank you for coming.
My absolute pleasure. Carmel Winery is a huge, vast winery, and I know that you had indicated that we've got a lot to cover today, so we really appreciate you taking the time, and we look forward to seeing everything that Zichron Yakov and Carmel Winery has to show us.
So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so welcome to Bistro de Carmel. It's very rare in Israel to find a winery with a genuine restaurant. It's Mediterranean food, kosher of course, but it's in a very historic building. Now at Carmel, everything is historical. Everything, all modern technology is in a framework or a basis of something historical. And this building was in fact built when they first built the winery in 1892. In the earliest pictures you can see it, and it was known as the winemaker's house. And this is now Bistro de Carmel. It's the restaurant we talked about. Let's just go in and have a quick look around. Okay, so this is the outside of the Bistro de Carmel. As you can see, it's vibrating today. There's a lot of visitors. You can see here the stone tabbouleh, which they use to bake the bread. Most exciting here is you can come here in July and August, sit in the corner over there, and you can watch the grapes come in 20 meters away from where you're sitting, virtually inside the winery. This is a picture of the winery from 100 years ago, and we're here. This is the Bistro de Carmel. It shows that it existed even then, but then it was the private house of the winemaker, like I said, and it's a picture from, they say, about 1900. Carmel today is Israel's #1 winery in size. It has been for the last 122 years. We have two large wineries. This is Zichron Yakov, south of Haifa, and Rishon LeZion, south of Tel Aviv. And we have two state-of-the-art, new, small, boutique wineries. One is Kayumi Winery in the Upper Galilee, and two is Yatir Winery at Tel Arad in the northeast Negev Desert. Carmel has wines all over Israel, every terroir, because of our size, because of our tradition. We have wines from the tip of the Upper Galilee down to the Negev Desert, and the winemakers can cherry pick from the best vineyards for the best blends. However, we're particularly strong in the Upper Galilee, and we had a planting program in the Upper Galilee in the last 10 years or so. All the vineyards in the Upper Galilee are reasonably new and young, and a lot of our premium wines come from, a lot of our top wines come from there. Carmel produces 15 million bottles a year, and we have something like 3,500 acres of vineyards, which is pretty big. We are the biggest kosher winery in the world.
So we've walked up to this gorgeous terrace that really overlooks a lot of the operation. We're a few months before the harvest season, but I can imagine that if the big boss wanted to come up somewhere and see what everyone's doing, he could really stand up on this terrace and see everything happening from here. Why don't you point out a little bit about what we have around us?
Okay, to start with, just to let me explain where we are. We're on the southern slopes of Mount Carmel, and it's overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. If you look over the trees over there, you can see the Mediterranean. It's very important for us in Israel because when you talk about the Mediterranean, it's not such a surprise that we have great wines. So the Mediterranean is just there. These houses in the corner here are Givat Zamarin. This is where the first settlers came here. The first farming village was set up in 1882. They came from Romania to here. They came from Russia to Rishon LeZion, and eventually 3 particular vineyards made experiments planting vines. And of course, we know from the Tanakh what grows in this area. It's vines and olive trees. Nothing else grew because the land was too stony here. Great big white limestone stones. And in Rishon, it was too sandy. And the farmers or the village was suffering. And it's then they approached Baron Edmund de Rothschild to assist them. Now, Baron Edmund de Rothschild wasn't only a Jewish philanthropist, he also happened to be co-owner with his 2 brothers of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, which is arguably the most famous winery in the world. So it was almost an obvious thing for him to do, to decide to concentrate on wine.